All right. Good morning, everybody, and welcome. It's TheoTRADE Chat. It's Don Kaufman here. It's the end of the quarter, September 30th, 2025. S&Ps are off some nine handles, but that's not going to stop AI from having some headlines in today's session, which we'll, of course, discuss here in just a couple of moments. But right off the bat, a couple of things to know. Obviously, it looks like we are headed to a government shutdown. I don't think the implications are all that negative. I think people are looking at that. It's going to crash the markets, really, because the S&Ps right now are down a whopping 9 points right now. So the marketplace is telling you exactly what they think of the government right now. So the volume is incredibly light as well. So I noticed the options volume dropped yesterday too. We only did just about average 58, 59 million option contracts yesterday. But this morning we're doing 132,000 contracts in the S&Ps, which is light and fluffy. The overnight action has been fairly limited. From the high to the low, you got about just over 20 handles of S&P movement. Volatility once again is slightly elevated. The VIX, okay, VIX actually returning in and around the 17 handle. Look, that's nothing too crazy. It was there last week, but overall, okay, market conditions over here, it's pretty sloptastic out there. And what I mean by that is, like, look, the trade, not exactly clean, decisive. You're going to open up into a veritable slop fest, and I mean that in terms of the advanced decline line. Take a quick glance. The financials very slightly lower into the cash open. The energy sector very slightly lower into the cash open, and it's kind of a mixed bag of goods in big tech. So let's get to it here. The opening bell coming up here on this Tuesday morning, as I said, end of the quarter, which is typically window dressing. If you're not familiar with the terminology of window dressing, that is buy whatever was strong on the quarter, sell whatever has been weak on the quarter. As I said, we're going to open into kind of a slop fest of a marketplace. And that's exactly what I mean is here, if you want the definition for slop fest, there it is. About a 50-50 advanced decline line inside of the S&P 100. As I was saying, the financials are down, but it's nominal. Energy's down. And really big tech is kind of a mixed bag of goods out of the gate. Nothing making any large or strategic moves this morning. Apple, keep taking a look at Apple. This thing's actually flattened out, but quite the bid lately inside of Apple. Nothing discernible, though, out of recent trading sessions. In fact, Apple last week, after making a blistering move last Monday, it hasn't moved like at all. Some pretty wild trade in there. And I call it wild trade because it literally has not moved. You guys haven't seen like an Apple chart in the last week. You're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You're now 6 days into literally one of the tightest ranges that Apple has had in, a really long freaking time. How about that? NASDAQ taking a little bit of a hit into the open here in the first minute. I just wouldn't read too deeply into some of the order flow. Markets right now, I mean, what are they really waiting for? Seriously, what are they waiting for right now? It's a government shutdown, golf clap. As I said, I just don't think that is headline news for markets. Okay, yes, there's definitely some firms that are going to be impacted by a government shutdown. Okay, but that's theoretically, and the literal sense of it is, do you really think a government shutdown is going to stop, operations over at Meta? Stop them cold. Speaking of Meta, some sell side activity recently. Meta actually shattering the lower edge of its expected move last week, headed a little bit lower this week. There's news on Meta this morning. That news actually, though, is them basically buying compute from CoreWeave, which you got that going for you. Nevertheless, not really going to impede this government shutdown. Is not going to impede that much in the markets. All too often, I think that traders, okay, make much more of something like a government shutdown than it needs to be to kind of further that notion. If you take a quick glance at the SPX, look, if you believe that a government shutdown is going to have, some bigger implications, okay, well, don't, don't take my word for it. Take a look at volatility for the remainder of the week. It's really, really consistent. And that doesn't mean that volatility can't pick up today. Like, I don't want to dismiss everything. Volatility can pick up today. And if volatility picked up today and volatility picked up tomorrow, clearly people would say, look, that's because of the government shutdown. And the truth is, I've been picking up on volatility for the last couple of days, but in the SPX world, there's a little bit more volatility for October 1st, okay, than there is for instance, Thursday, October 2nd. And then the volatility, okay, kind of picks up just a little bit towards the end of the week, 13.74. For the most part, the vol skew for the remainder of the week, though, it's flat. Okay, it's flat, and it's again, it's picked up a little bit, but it was picking up, last week too, meaning overall volatility. Okay, and maybe yes, maybe you can attribute some of the rise of VIX to, of course, the idea of government shutdown, but there's nothing raging out there on the horizon. As I said to you, though, inevitably, if somebody tomorrow the volatility spikes, everybody's gonna be like, that damn government shutdown. It's always that. Okay. The truth be told is so volatility right now, seasonally, okay, should be a lot higher than it is. And that's, look, I mean, September didn't exactly happen, did it? And September's over and done with. And here we are at the end of September. Baby, okay. Are we into fall? Are we into fall? By the way, here in when I'm here in Arizona, there's no seasons. There's no seasons really here in Arizona. It's weird too because on the island, there's two seasons on the island. When I'm on the island, there's hurricane season and everything else. For those of you that don't know that, like it's June literally to December, hurricane season. There's hurricane season on the island and nothing else. And I'm off island right now because this time of the year in the island sucks. It's so freaking humid out there. It's not that hot, but it's just really humid. Okay, it doesn't get like Florida hot. Florida hot's really, really hot. Island's in the middle of the damn ocean. Doesn't get quite that hot. Nevertheless, okay, here in Arizona, we have two seasons. There's like really hot and then just like it's not that hot anymore. There's no hurricane season here in Arizona. It's just like really hot and then like it stops being hot. Today, it's kind of stopped being hot, but I'm actually going to go drive up to the mountains later today. So going back to the mountains. It's gonna be good stuff. Okay, there's mountain. Maybe grow a little bit of a beard. Okay, we're very close to Movember. It's gonna happen for me. I can't. By the way, I can't grow beard. It's okay. Yeah, this is like Gianni was probably shaving when he was like 8 years old. Gianni probably had more of a beard at 8 years old than I'll ever have. Okay. I'm not jealous, maybe a little bit, but not. All right. Gianni was definitely the kid that you would send in to buy the beer when you were like 16. There's no question. There was no question. Gianni's the kid you would send in to buy the beer when he was 16 years old because he's been shaving since he's 8. All right. These are important things. Nvidia has a little bit of a bid back under it. Starting to crack myself up here, and it's only 6 minutes in. Holy crap! This is what happens when you get slop fest of a days. So there's actually quite a bit of news, just individual news stories out, but we're actually going to shop a lot of trades this morning. So let's get to it. All the news, in my opinion, that matters this morning, okay, is all revolving around. Look at Meta get smoked right now. Okay. All the news this morning that's moving markets, okay, revolves inextricably to AI. Because the truth is that's the only thing that can move the damn market. Okay. Now, Meta, let's start with Meta. I already brought it up and I was showing you it smashed the lower edge of the expected move last week. Now, one smash of expected move, oh, is still my heart. Nobody gives a damn. Okay. It's one smash of expected move, but now it's more than halfway home. Now we're starting to see some sell side activity in here. And what should catch your attention is if it actually breaks again. But its expected move this week, I mean, you got to come all the way down to the 720 level. That's another $10 from where it presently is. The stock would have to be down today. 3.5%. 3.5% would have to be down today to actually hit its lower edge of the expected move. So I will start waking up and paying attention in here is if it does crack into 720, it's actually then it's wide open to 700 and things are going to get crazy in that marketplace. But we've actually got Meta today driving some order flow back to the Nasdaq and back to the S&Ps. Okay. Meanwhile, Tesla, maybe a little bit of sell side activity. I got some strong feelings in this one. Okay. I'm just going to let you guys know. So I have a friend that shopping a Tesla in the last couple of days because of the $7,500 tax credit. For those of you that are living under a rock or unaware, the EV tax credit officially ends today. The car must be ordered, and it's not just Tesla, it's all EV tax credits, okay, are going to end today. And if you've ever wanted to buy an EV, okay, for what it's worth, just my opinion, you might want to wait 6-8 weeks because ain't nobody going to buy an EV in the next 6 or 8 weeks. So this gentleman that I know was out shopping the last couple of days for a Tesla. You cannot find one. You can't find one. And if you do, and it's a used one, it's an absolute piece of crap that no one would ever want. Okay. Tesla is completely, there's so many orders that came in, they can't deliver them. So what they're doing is they're just taking an order before September 30th, throwing their hands up in the air. We're going to deliver it to you. Okay. It's smart as can be. They're intentionally not delivering. Okay. So they're taking the order in Q3 and they're actually going to deliver in Q4. So Q4 might not look as crappy as maybe we thought. Nevertheless, okay, there is not going to be an EV sold, okay, in this country after September 30th for a while. It's going to get crazy out there. We have, like, people don't think like $7,500 credit. It's huge. You're getting a $7,500 credit. Some of these cars are $40,000 to $50,000. Okay, that's it. And I don't think people are aware. You can actually buy Teslas, okay, in the $30,000 to $40,000 range, okay, for the entry level stuff. A $7,500 tax credit, you know, can be over 30%, okay, on there, assuming you actually do pay taxes. Assuming you pay taxes, of course, you know, which nobody ever does anymore. But we're talking about 30%, 20 to 30%, you know, discounts in the vehicle is going to be gone. So there's going to be some interesting delivery numbers out of Q3. It's not as high as people thought. Okay, they're stacking them out, and they're actually going to do delivery. So the order has to be in. Okay, the order has to be in today. The delivery can actually happen. So this is going to throw a lot of people completely off, a lot of analysts off. Very, very hard to justify what Tesla deliveries are going to be. Okay, as such, just wait for it, wait for it. The volatility is really elevated because of that. So Tesla, the moment the quarter ends, they're actually going to release their numbers. When the quarter ends today, you're going to hear numbers in the next day or two from Tesla, some heavily elevated implied volatility in here. It almost looks like earnings that's coming in Tesla. So interesting stuff. Okay, let's get to some of the news out there. By the way, the big tech stocks, okay, are all flat during the red. Nothing interesting going on other than maybe Meta. Okay, speaking of completely flat, Microsoft also. Microsoft's just kind of wobbling back and forth over here week to week. Not a whole hell of a lot going on. Hit the lower edge of the expected move. Okay, nothing going on this week. Next, okay, as I was saying a moment ago, the only real news that's moving markets today, okay, has a lot to do. Again, the only news moving markets today has a lot to do with Nvidia or anything AI related. Okay, the first one, obviously, I'm going to bring up is Nvidia. Okay, I have some pretty strong feelings on Nvidia right now. First of all, I think they suck, and I really wanted to like show up just wearing like a leather jacket like Jensen does every single day. It's just it's not my style, not my style. Anyway, I have a trade on an Nvidia. That trade, okay, is literally for the next 3 days, and today. Okay, the trade is very simple. Okay, we're going to break out. I put a trade on for a breakout to the upside. It's not breaking out. It's when I say a breakout, okay, it's the bottom line. That is the high. Okay, I think we get a squeeze. If we touch the high, we squeeze off of it because all of the algo monkeys, okay, that's what we shall deem them now. Algo monkey, okay, what are you? I'm an algo monkey. So all of the algo monkeys will be turned on when it actually hits at or near its all-time high. Look, they're all using the same damn scan that I am. Okay, you just go in here and you build like one of these scans and go, the current price. Look here. The current price is 2% of the 252 period high. 252 period is 1 year. There are 252 trading days inside of 1 year, which is 15.875. Anyway, square root. I'm scanning in the weeklies and just hit scan. Okay, you're like, oh, that's amazing. Not really. And then I sort. Okay, I sort by market cap. So for the most part, what are we doing? What are we doing over here? Okay, what are we doing over here? Well, we're just scanning for crap that's actually kind of breaking out. Like, look, Robinhood. Okay, that wasn't on my radar screen, but sure, what the hell? Look, you know what Robinhood's doing? Oh, it's breaking out because it hit an all-time high. Okay, the point that I'm trying to make in the scan is a very, very simplistic one. Look at that, gold is actually up there. BlackRock, I feel dirty. Okay, Bank of America is in there, and this crap is nuts. Okay, the financials, right? Yeah, there you go. So this is the kind of trade that's just perpetuating new highs. By the way, speaking of Robinhood, I'm going to come back to that for just a second. Okay, what's actually generating new highs? When I talk about like algo monkeys, the algo monkeys are out. Okay, the algo monkeys are right here, buying calls. Okay, to perpetuate new highs. There's no question. There's a lot of activity inside of Robinhood early on. I mean, who's trading all of this? Probably some of the Robinhood clients. Okay, that's so weird. Okay, I feel so dirty. Anyway, onward and upward. So the idea inside of Nvidia, is that it's going to approach its highs, okay, which it's basically doing right now, and then the algo monkeys will do the rest of the work for us, where they'll just start coming in, rushing the market, buying calls, and we then therefore explode to the upside. The 185s are $2 out of the money. They'll go in the money. And look, it's 3-day trade. Now, I did not send this trade out. I refuse to send every trade out. Because if you send every trade out, people don't necessarily show up. They have no idea what the hell is going on. Okay. In trade selection, you don't just, I like when people show up because otherwise when I send trades out, people blindly just take trades. They blindly take trades, you have no idea what the impetus is for that trade. And so, well, the impetus is, well, to make money. Well, what the hell, man? That's what I'm doing over here. Yeah. But sometimes trades kind of coincide with other trades. There's a lot more going on here, okay, than just going out and, trying to sling some options and try to make a couple of bucks. You should understand exactly what I'm trying to do inside of NVIDIA. Okay. And then you agree or disagree with it, and it's fine. Okay. People will take the other side of this. That's also fine. Okay. But at the same time, we've seen this kind of momentum time and again. So like literally as it starts to approach its all-time high, come down here and take a look at the call buying, okay? And the call buying is going to be out of control. So they're just going to buy calls and boop, and all of a sudden, boom, it explodes to the all-time high. Okay, that's the game plan inside of NVIDIA. Speaking of NVIDIA, let's cruise back. There's more news. Nvidia uh did not even a deal. They announced like a collaboration, okay, with UiPath. UiPath symbol path. Okay. All right. I'm willing to admit that I've never heard of this piece of crap before. Okay. I'm serious too. Like I've never really heard of this company. Has anybody else heard of this company? Okay. Anybody? Anybody? I'm serious. Like I don't mind saying that. Like I've never pulled up a chart on this crap before. Never. I've never even heard of it. Okay. There's one of maybe one of our other, instructors have pulled it up. I could see Brandon pulling this up. Not, positive or negative in there. Okay. Hmm. Um, Oh, look at that. Mountain Mike. Mountain Mike has a position in there. Okay. Mountain Mike, you better be bullish because they announced it's like a partnership. Like nobody exchanged any money, nothing happened like that. Okay. But UiPath, what they basically do is they help companies, okay, in terms of like integrating AI. Yay, golf clap. I don't really know what that means. Can't AI help integrate AI, making them completely like, useless? It's kind of like Coinbase. The whole idea of crypto was to not need an exchange or anything, but that got screwed up. Anyway, truth is in here, it exploded to the upside because they announced some partnerships with OpenAI and or Nvidia. So they said Nvidia. Ooh, okay. I mean that's the kind of crap that we're dealing with right now. They said Nvidia. That's good for at least 15%, and that's exactly what you got. Anyway, the bid under the marketplace is that is real and it's spectacular. Volatility is massively inverted in here as well. So take a look. When I talk about call buying monkeys, this is an underlying that, okay, again, I haven't pulled it up before, but I can tell you one thing. I can look at the sizzle index on fire today. It's trading 26, 27 times its normal daily option volume at this point in the day. So you can tell it's on fire. Okay, number two, it's trading double the number of calls on the ask or above, not double the number of calls of puts. Okay, that crap is out of control. Check this out. Normally, okay, it trades what? Like, look, there's like no puts trading and all the calls are trading. But the calls that are trading in here, the calls that are trading in here, most of them are trading at the ask or above, which means they're just, okay, dominant in terms of buying calls. What are we going to do today? We're going to buy some calls. Okay, that sounds like a plan. That's all that's really going on. By the way, this is a retail fun fest in here. I know it's retail because 30,000 of the 60,000, over 50% of the volume is traded, okay, at the markets, meaning that no one negotiated, okay, between bid and offer. And there's markets in here that are 4 and 5 cents wide. Now, no one negotiated. They're like, 54 cents, I'll take it. Okay, what do you want for that? Or I'll take it. Man, like walk into a car dealership, you're like, I'll take it. Okay, give me the red one, I'll take it. That's basically what's going on in whatever the hell this stock happens to be. So you got that going for you. That's again, the reason I really brought this up though is for the Nvidia breakout trade. Next on the docket, okay, CoreWeave. So CoreWeave is back, okay, in the cross. Come on, man, I typed it in. CoreWeave is back in the in your crosshairs here. For those of you that are not familiar with CoreWeave, okay, quite simply put, well, it doesn't really matter. They're up another 12% today. CoreWeave, what do? They build like a data center, okay? CoreWeave builds a data center. What kind of a data center? It's a giant GPU compute center. CoreWeave exclusively is using NVIDIA, okay? So hold on, because I've talked about, what I talk about is the circle of life. The circle of life, feel the flow. Anyway, CoreWeave buys GPU compute, the chips, okay, from NVIDIA. NVIDIA pays money to CoreWeave, okay? Meta today announced a $14.2 billion deal, okay, with CoreWeave. So CoreWeave, all right, has got themselves a client. Their client happens to be Meta. Nevertheless, okay, CoreWeave and Nvidia are kind of inextricably linked, which also, of course, links them to OpenAI. And by the way, everything in the AI infrastructure, okay, is 1 degree of freedom away from everything else. They're all investing in one another. It is a ball of crap unto which no one has ever seen before. We are talking trillions and trillions of dollars. Okay. I'm not saying billions. I'm saying trillions with a T. Okay. Of how much is literally, okay, financial engineering of the entire AI ecosystem. So many could point to the AI ecosystem, specifically CoreWeave. Okay. I don't believe CoreWeave is at the center of the AI ecosystem, not at all. Okay. But they're an absolute critical player. I would say that NVIDIA is probably the center of the AI ecosystem. And if you look at this AI ecosystem, there's a company actually building AI, which is OpenAI. Okay. Of course, people are going to talk about like Google, but Google has probably fallen off a little bit there. There's Anthropic. Okay. So OpenAI, okay, is a non-public company. They're not even a profitable company yet, not a non-profit company. Okay, not only are they not profitable, they're burning billions, but they're a non-for-profit over an OpenAI. There's Anthropic. Okay, everybody that's been throwing money at Anthropic. If you're not familiar with Anthropic, they actually built Claude. There was big news about that today. Anthropic just released a version of Claude that was coding for 30 hours straight, nonstop on a local computer. If you guys have no idea what I'm talking about, literally, okay, coding software for 30 hours straight. Now that is a burn session. By the way, if you guys know nothing about software developers, good software developers, the ones that are like, like built like Thinkorswim or Tasty, okay, same group, by the way, built Thinkorswim and Tasty. Good software developers, okay, are notorious for burning for anywhere from 30 to 40 hours, okay? And if you've never seen a software developer towards the end of that burn session, it's awesome. They look like hell. Okay, it's great. Okay, 30 cans of like Red Bull. Like, you can be okay. Be okay. Okay, they can't move. They're like, it's wicked. Anybody ever done that? Any developers in here? Okay, totally lost their crap over there, wallowing in a pit of their own slobber, basically at the end of it. But it made me think of that. We used to actually do literally 24 to 30 hour sessions at Thinkorswim and TD Ameritrade. We'd basically make it like a party. We'd like burn through the night when there was like big ideas. When there were big ideas, literally, okay, some of the developers would come over from St. Petersburg in Russia, and they would fly in, sleep, for the night. They'd fly in, get in at night, sleep for the night, show up the next morning, okay, and literally burn for like 30 hours straight. It's insane. And you got to stay awake with them. Even if you're not a developer, you got to stay awake with them because it is what it is, it's good stuff. So, by the way, Miguel, I'm a developer. It's pretty much like being a junkie. That's exactly what it is. Okay. By the end of it, okay, there's no difference between you and the junkie by the end of that 30 hours. Okay. The only thing is the junkie, there's upside after 30 hours. These guys like disappear. Okay. It's awesome. Good stuff over there. Yeah. I used to go to those sessions. Okay. Order pizza. Some of the guys would even drink during it. Oh, it's horrible. So anyway, at the core of the ecosystem, of course, is going to be NVIDIA. But this little like circle of life, it is way deeper than people can imagine. What I'm talking about is the financial engineering behind it. And this is something that I literally believe, okay, will be in like, economics books for, decades. All right. Every economic book of like this time frame will probably point to AI. Whether it's successful or not doesn't really make a difference. Okay. But the financial engineering behind it is alarming, to say the least. And that's why I think some of the economists like not enough people are coming out and screaming about red flags. They're starting to come out right now. Okay. And it was the last 2 weeks when I heard, when I heard OpenAI on stage, Sam Altman mentioning $5 trillion of spend. And if you've ever seen Sam Altman, like doesn't even blink when he's talking about like $5 trillion, like $5 trillion, nothing, not even a voice inflection. We will spend $5 trillion. I mean, like you're like, holy crap. Okay. And again, you start to recognize that all of the companies are inextricably linked. And literally, it reminds me of back in the day, okay, cell phone providers, okay, like Verizon. Verizon would sell their towers and then lease them back, okay? Like they literally sell towers to the other cell phone company and then turn around and like lease them back. And there were structures like this to build the original cell phone networks. Okay. And it, by the way, it was massive fraud, massive fraud at the time. To basically make their numbers, what they were doing is to hide some of the spending and make their numbers. They were literally doing things like selling a cell phone tower, like, we'll sell it to you. They look around and they go, and then we'll lease it back because we really actually need it. Okay. That's the kind of crap that's going on right now. CoreWeave is at the center of this because anytime NVIDIA wants, NVIDIA can make their numbers by selling more stuff to CoreWeave. Why? Well, CoreWeave is partially owned by NVIDIA. They literally own, like CoreWeave, okay, is partially owned. Like they own, billions of dollars of their stock, and it just goes on like that. So you got that going for you. Okay. If you're against the idea of like, I know the administration, Trump administration was talking about like not doing earnings quarterly, doing earnings like, twice a year. Does it even matter anymore? Okay. You got financial engineering going like this. Who cares if it could be once a year? Nobody gives a damn. The numbers aren't even going to matter anymore because they're all inextricably linked. All right. So I was not talking about MCI WorldCom, who was definitely involved in that whole debacle as well. So onward and upward, I wanted to mention that for a couple of moments because, again, CoreWeave once again is on the bid over here. We're not back, okay, to where it was at 187. And again, this is back in June. In fact, just to show you, the 3-year on here is pretty cool. I apologize, I already had the 3-year up there. This is quite the mighty little upside on here. Just so you guys are aware, you're looking at about a $69 billion market cap right now on CoreWeave. So anyway, they're going to get paid by Meta some $14 billion. That deal, though, is extended over a pretty considerable period of time. All right, onward. Speaking of Meta actually at lows of the trading session right here, right now. Nvidia, as I said to you, the whole marketplace feels really heavy, but Nvidia is strong. As long as Nvidia is strong, it's actually going to hold the S&Ps to some degree. Okay, onward. Okay, we're going to look at an SPX butterfly. Oh, Hertz had news today, like anybody actually cares. Okay, Hertz is actually opening up online sales for cars. Yay! Next. Okay. Yeah, I couldn't even believe these guys are still in business. But yeah. By the way, this was it Hertz that was involved in the great Tesla debacle? They bought all the Model 3s. Okay, bought all these Model 3s to to rent out to people, and people are like, how the beep do I drive this damn thing? I love that one. Okay. I'm sorry, but I absolutely love that one. Hold on a second. Just looking at something over here. Just looking. Anyway, with that, okay. Nobody remembers that. Okay. All right. Does financial engineering equal fraud? No, they're way smarter than that. Okay, they are. But let's go back to NVIDIA for just a second because this is a great question. Okay, there's not any question whatsoever that the financial engineering, the structure of this, NVIDIA is using their might of market cap. Their market cap right now in NVIDIA, okay, is 4.5 trillion. They're using the market cap of NVIDIA to leverage other deals, okay, to basically, if you will, springboard other companies, okay, either into existence, okay, or into other significant and dominant market positions. But if you're helping somebody get to a significant or dominant position, okay? And they're, by the way, they're in an indomitable position right now too. I want to make that very clear. Nvidia is in an indomitable position, okay? And what they're actually doing is solidifying the positioning, okay, through financial engineering. But at the exact same time, as a company, I don't care who you are. You're not going to turn down Nvidia. Oh, they're making it an indomitable position. Oh, I shouldn't help involving that. Okay. So these are not stupid people, right? They know exactly what they're doing. So you're actually springboarding the market cap, okay, of CoreWeave up. But CoreWeave is actually buying your products. Okay. The positioning though that you're in it's shady. It's not illegal, but it's definitely shady. Okay. But I'm actually going to give you something similar. Back in the 1990s, everybody remember the 1990s? At the internet boom. Okay. What they were doing in the internet boom, specifically, there was a company called Dell. And you guys can look it up. And by the way, Dell has had a wild history, right? You're like, wait, Dell only started back here in 2019. Look, okay. If you're like Gianni's age, you might believe that Dell became a public company. I'm totally ripping on Gianni. If you're Gianni's age, okay, Gianni's not that young. He's in his 30s, okay? He's just a little pup, okay? Gianni's got kids older than my kids. No, he doesn't. But if you're Gianni's age, you believe that Dell probably started in 2018. No, Dell was a public company way back in the 90s, okay? Eventually was taken private, okay? And now taken public again, right? Because they had to, hand all the crap to everybody else. Anyway, what did Dell do in the 1990s? Does anybody know, in terms of financial engineering, what did Dell do in the 1990s? Dell making computers was in, okay, the driver's seat. They were absolutely killing it during the internet boom, okay? And what they were actually doing was selling puts, okay, against their own shares. Dell was making, Dell was making more money in several quarters selling puts. Okay, they were literally in the open market selling puts. Okay, and if the stock got put to them, it was like a stock buyback. But they were selling puts in their own stock, and the put premiums were so significant that they made more selling puts than they did, not collars. Okay. They made more money selling puts in several quarters than they did selling computers. And that was really financial engineering that I guarantee you, okay, people like Jensen over at Nvidia looked at and thought, damn, that's a good idea. Except years later, they kind of decayed that. They said, no more. I don't know about that. I don't want to know about that. Okay. And then people like Mark Cuban, for those of you that don't know who Mark Cuban is, okay, you've been hiding under a rock. Actually, Mark Cuban right now is hiding under a rock, which is finally good. He's been quieted. Okay. The voices have been quieted. All right. I'm not a fan of Cuban. All right. Mark Cuban did one thing, okay, really, really right. By the way, his I'm not going to discount his new pharmaceutical startup is actually it's a big company, but Mark Cuban sold broadcast.com to Yahoo. After doing that, he looked at the entire marketplace and said, this is probably a bubble. He calls up people at Goldman Sachs and says, how do I protect this? Doesn't really know. They put a collar on it. And they legally did it, but they put a collar on it, which is buying puts and selling calls. All of this between Dell, okay, and Yahoo, okay, is a no-no today. They are disallowing it under Sarbanes-Oxley. If you're not familiar with Sarbanes-Oxley, okay, that's basically where the CEO and CFO sign their life away and say, okay, we reviewed this, and if anything naughty is going on, it's on us. And that's where they put you in federal, pound me in the whatever prison. That, okay, is a great reference. Okay, I have to get at least 1 or 2 Office Space references in every single week. I don't go to prison. Anyway, you're not allowed to sell puts against your own stock. You're not allowed to sell puts against your own stock. You're not allowed to collar your own stock. There's still ways to do it. Believe me, okay? I had a very, very influential person at ExxonMobil as a client for years at both Thinkorswim and TD Ameritrade. And I figured out how to collar their stock using XLE, okay? But neither here nor there. When you look at something like Dell, this is where, in my opinion, some of the best financial engineering really in modern days. This stuff has been going on for years, but Nvidia picked up that ball and ran with it because Nvidia isn't financial engineering within their own product. Okay, they're structuring again, as I said, a more indomitable position. Okay, by financial engineering in everything and every ecosystem around them. So bringing it into theirs. And it's only a matter of time before you're going to see stuff like Nvidia. Okay, they're going to have to start buying power like everybody else. Meta's doing it. Okay, they're all getting involved in that game. Again, sorry, I forgot about that toxic masculinity. Okay, I mean, look, you got the monkey wearing like a leather jacket already in there too, right? So, it's the difference. Continuing on over here. So this is Office Space, okay, is an absolute must watch. People may not appreciate that movie, okay? I fully do. I did work for 5 years at TD Ameritrade in that kind of corporate environment, okay? Oh, does it suck? Oh, does it suck? I've told people time and again, okay? TheoTRADE ever gets big enough that we need HR, okay? I'm HR. Huh? How's that grab you? Okay. I run HR for TheoTRADE. Like, oh man, that place must be interesting to work at. Yes. If you were offended, okay, you can't work here. We should actually put people through an interview and say offensive things to them and make sure that they're okay with it. Are you okay by this kind of offensive like terminology? Be like, oh, okay. We have many people here that either worked in Chicago and or traded on the floor. Okay. Several are first generation walking upright. It's okay. Okay. By the way, I'm just pretty much talking about Todd Sweet and myself, but other than that, Bierman grew up in Los Angeles, but spent enough time in Chicago that he understands. Okay. And then we have a few other people that are still in Chicago too. But all right, onward. S&P is now down 11 handles. Ooh, we're almost towards the lows. So, all right, I'm done with ripping on Nvidia. I'm telling you, okay. The history books will actually show that one for a while. They're gonna have to come up with a different type of like Sarbanes-Oxley at some point. Gold is flying. Let's talk about SPX for a second. So there might be an opportunity for an SPX butterfly, okay? And I'm going to say this, you can do an SPX butterfly bullish or bearish. I want to bring something up before I bring up the SPX butterfly, okay? And what I'm going to bring up is called skew, okay? So skew, man, skew has dropped. It's at 143, but it's still relatively high. I'm not exactly sure, like this is not a precipitous drop in here in skew, but if you look for 15 years, we're still way up there. Like I have my mouse of where skew presently is. Here, let me just draw it on the screen. This is where skew presently is, right? And this is the whole history of the skew going all the way back to, sorry, I'm still cracking myself up about the office space, okay? It almost all came out, okay? I'm trying to keep it PG-13. By the way, I saw somebody's nickname in here yesterday that was PG-13, okay? If your nickname is PG-13, I thought that was a great nickname in here. I said that to you yesterday. That's the first time I've actually seen the nickname PG-13. I say that in my house all the time, okay? Because my kids now, I have two teenagers in the house, so I'm constantly saying to them, I'm like, let's all keep it PG-13. And of course, between my 13-year-old and my 15-year-old, it's the arguments are definitely R-rated. Their arguments are definitely R-rated. There's violence. There's violence in the home. There's really it's kind of off the rails these days. Okay. Yes. PG-13. It's great. It's a great nickname. What I'm trying to point out here in skew is still relatively high. Okay. So I'm curious as to how this is going to price. And what I mean, what's going to price? Let's go to the SPX. So right now, okay, we're pretty much dead on where we started the week. That line is where we started the week. She's cracking me up. I heard an argument between my kids yesterday afternoon, and they didn't even know that I was like in the house because I work out of the guest house, sneak back in the house. They didn't even hear me back in the house, but I fully heard like their argument. I was dying. dying laughing, okay, of the crap that they were saying back and forth to one another. Because as you know, okay, all kids, even if they're good kids, I have good kids, okay, when they know the parents are not around, the crap that comes out of their mouth is very, very different than the crap that you hear as a parent, okay? Everybody remembers when they were kids, you'd be like, oh, by seventh grade, you speak like a truck driver. Everybody is aware of that because, well, it's amusing. Um, but they actually have stupid slang now. Stupid slang. And their stupid slang is like LOL. I'm not saying they said that, okay, but they have like other slang where I'm like, literally, okay, I'm sitting on the couch, I'm in the house, they don't even know I'm in the house, and I'm looking crap up that they're saying to one another on my phone, dying, okay, inside. I'm like, I don't even know what they're talking about. All right, continuing on over here. They have memes that they use nonstop. They speak to each other in meme. Yeah, we have gone full tilt stupidity. Because the market is relatively flat right now, we started at basically 66.44. Okay, we're going to look at an upper butterfly and a lower butterfly. Okay, let's actually distinguish where these are. The upper one would be 67.30. So I'm actually going to write it up over here so everybody sees it, and we're actually going to price some flies. So the upper fly, okay, 67.30. Okay, that's a 30. By the way, bear with me for 1 second because I am looking right now at Home Depot. All right. So the upper fly would be 67.30. Okay. The lower fly, let's zoom in onto this. The lower fly, come on. Oh, swing and a miss. The lower fly, okay, be right here at, we're going to call it 65. We'll round it. 65, we'll call it 60. Okay. So 65.60. So what I'm going to go in right now and do, okay, is I'm going to price butterflies on both of these. And we're going to price them literally for this Friday's expiration. So I want you guys to get a feel for how skew is going to impact it. By the way, whether I place it or not, I always kind of do this. I always bring up the bullish and bearish. Okay. Constantly do this myself. So 65.60. Bring up the put one first. We're going to make $15 wide flies. So all I do is like, see 65.60. Okay. That'd be kind of the downside of it. I just right click, go to buy, deep and wide. Okay. 3 strike, butterfly. Right. If you're on Tasty, okay, it's just as easy on Tasty. You just come over here on Tasty. You come into SPX. Okay. Open up like the October 3rd. Okay. And here you have 65.60. Okay. So 65.60, there it is, 65.60. So what you can do is like sell this, okay? You'd be buying that wing and buying that wing. Then you just come in here and change the contract size. Okay, people are always like, oh, it's slower in here. No, it's not. You just saw me do it just as fast. Okay, so it's pretty easy. I'm getting used to Tasty to the point where I'm trading on there extensively more. So I kind of go back and forth, and I'm actually going to talk about that extensively as well. So the put butterfly is a $15 wide put butterfly. It's trading for literally, I could fill this for 35 to 40 cents. Like that's probably what I'm thinking. But I'm going to come over here and I'm going to do what's called blast all. Okay, now we're going to bring up the call butterfly. So let's bring up a call butterfly. Where's the call butterfly? 67.30. Let's go to 67.30. He right clicks. He goes down to buy. He goes to deep and wide. He goes to 4-month, 3 strike, butterfly. Okay. Holy crap. Look at the pricing differential on there. By the way, I knew it would be much bigger on the call side, but if you have a question, like, I'm sorry, I would never buy butterfly in a million years here. Call butterfly is a pile of crap. Okay. Pile of crap. Uh, uh, I don't think Idiocracy, the greatest movie ever. I don't know if I've seen that one. Okay. I don't know if I've seen that one. Huh. Am I on the wrong date over here? Somebody said wrong date. You might be right. Okay. He's very good. Oh, son of a. Hold on a second. Okay, I did. I screwed up the date. By the way, the date should not dramatically impact the trade. So let's go create a duplicate order. Bear with me here for a second. Create duplicate order. Okay, we're back in here. You just got to change this to Oct 3rd. This should not change pricing. Don't. Okay, should not change pricing at all. Okay, there we go. So this butterfly was the same on Tasty, right? Yeah, I've got October 3rd on Tasty. Okay, all right. This butterfly is on the call side is insanely priced, and quite frankly, the evidence is that the skew today is elevating. So, and things could change. Look at Nvidia is actually exploding higher. It's just it's terrible that it's like this right now because the reason I sometimes bring this up is I just want you to see why I'm doing one trade over the other. Okay. This is exactly why I'm saying like certain trades I just don't want to send out. And sometimes the reason I don't want to send a trade out is because nobody saw the explanation of it. And the explanation of this is like right now, I'm pretty sure I could buy, okay? I'm pretty sure I could buy the put butterfly for 35 to 40 cents, which is fair. Call butterfly would cost me at least $1.15. How can you make a logical argument that you should buy the call butterfly over the put butterfly? Okay. How can you make a logical argument given the fact that the marketplace, okay, is pretty much dead even? I know we're leaning a little bit towards the call side. No, we're not. Okay. Look, the market started here at 66.43. We're 10 points higher. Okay. The point that I'm trying to make is it's not even close. Like the argument here isn't even close. Like you're paying 3 times more for the same damn trade. And I won't do it. Okay. I will not do it. And I wanted to bring that example to your attention. Now, okay, before I go any further. So now that I've actually got a trade up over here, just bear with me for a second. The cost of the put butterfly ain't half bad. Okay. Maybe some volatility breaks out as this week actually picks up. But again, when I look at the put butterfly, okay, when I look at the put butterfly, and as I said, can we get down here? I don't know, 65, like 60-ish, okay? So 65, like 60-ish, looks like we can get there. One thing I like to do is I'll come in here and I'll price again. Whoops, swing and a miss. I'll come in here and I'll price, okay, the $15 wide butterfly. But sometimes I also, before I execute, I like to price, okay, a $20 wide fly too. I always do this. 65 cents, 55 cents. Like if I could get a $20 wide fly, if I could get like a $20 wide fly for like 55 cents, I think I would do it. Okay. Like I'll work this little monkey here, the $20 wide fly. Like I'll work it. Okay. Work it. Am I on the right expiration? Good catch, by the way. By the way, literally between the second and the third, the price probably wouldn't vary more than like 3 to 5 cents. So I'm working right now and I'm going to cancel replace, okay, and work different prices. This is a $20 wide fly. Okay. And you're like, why would you want to do a $20 wide fly? Because man, if this thing hit, okay, I'd be gold, Jerry, gold. 55 cents is the most I would pay. And if I don't fill, I'm just taking you through my logic. If I don't fill at 55 cents immediately, okay, then I'm done. And what I mean by I'm done, I'm literally, okay, I'm done. I'm going to go back and I'm going to trade, okay, the other butterfly. So I'm going to come in here and I'm going to cancel this order out and I'm going to switch back, okay, I'm going to switch back to the other butterfly where I go buy deep and wide, okay, 1 month, 3 strike. And there's a lot of minutia going on my screen. Okay, let me cancel this order. There's a lot of crap going on my screen, but okay, the truth is all I'm trying to do is feel out, okay? Like, look, a $20 wide fly is a little bit better than a $15 wide fly, but I don't really want to pay for it, okay? I mean, by the way, I don't think I can fill here at 25 cents and cancel, replace the order. If I could fill at 30 or 35 cents, okay, it'd be great. Literally, I think that this butterfly that I'm in here, that I'm trying to get in, I think this butterfly is worth 35 to 40 cents that I'm trying to buy, okay? And I'm still, see, I'm not filling here, not filling, not filling, not filling, okay? I think the butterfly I'm trying to buy is worth 40 cents right now. This should fill immediately. Okay. So then I'm going to come in and work another one at 35 and see if I can. And it filled. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm actually going to send out, okay, a butterfly. He's sending out his fly. Sending out a fly. And this is the note I always put there. This is the low probability shot of the week. That's it. This is the low probability shot of the week. And I don't want you guys to think of anything more, okay, than it's a low probability shot of the week. Low prob shot of the week. Okay. So why do we call it low probability? Well, last week we actually hit one. But we didn't make a ton of money off of it, but we hit a butterfly last week. Okay. We hit it kind of early on. That's this week, but so if you take a quick glance with me here, okay, I like to have these types of trades on. Whoops, I didn't do it in this account. Apologize. Okay. I can't remember where I did my fly. Okay. Oh, here it is. Okay. So I bought one. I did this in several different accounts. And again, I said, I'm trading it tasty and I'm trading it like Thinkorswim. And in my mind, I don't know where I am. No, I paid 55 cents for a trade that was worth $1.35. And what's weird though is like I paid 55 cents. We're kind of in the same position. It's $15 wide. So this week we got a little bit of a deal. We paid between 35 and 40 cents, and I'm going to send it out at 35 cents. So last week we hit a butterfly. It was only for 145% return. I say only. You want to make more than that on butterflies. Okay. Now, do I know anything? Like, are we going to sell off this week? The hell, man, I don't know. Okay, we could be at the lower edge of the expected move today, right? It's just there's maybe a little window dressing. Everybody wants to buy Nvidia. Speaking of Nvidia, look what's going to happen. Okay, as I said to you, it will catch fire and it will hit the high. Okay, and my little call, there it is going to go in the money, and it's going to be winner, winner, chicken dinner. Wait, where the hell is the trade? He's losing it. Okay, where's my Nvidia trade? My Nvidia trade is up a whopping 6%. It's up 6%. Look at this. XLE, Home Depot, Google, coming back, baby. I'm the king of the comeback. There we go. We're about to send this little monkey out. October 3rd. October 3rd is my sister's birthday. So I have a son that has a birthday in September, a sister that has a birthday in the beginning of October, and then my boy has a birthday on Sunday. Another boy, okay, which has been pointed out to me many, many times. They're like, you have a kid in September, at the end of September, and you have a kid in early October. By the way, traders, you know, this is actually hysterical to see how fast traders are. Okay, everything that traders hear typically has some mathematical value. Okay, and if you want to know if you're hanging out with a group of traders, okay, I've had this said to me multiple times. I'm like, oh yeah, I got a kid late September, and I got a kid from early October. Okay, and anybody that's a trader, like literally, they look up and they go, oh, so you have sex once a year, right? It's January 1st. Congratulations. Yeah, I said it. Okay, I've been told that by so many traders before. Dying. Like most normal people don't think that way. Most normal people don't think that way. Okay, but yeah, no, okay. Like happy New Year. You had a kid 9 months after, exactly. So that's it's pretty good. Yeah. I got that going for me. Actually, one of my boys, okay, one of my boys, his birthday is the same birthday as my dad, which is kind of cool. So he's a gift. He was a gift. Okay. Yeah, his birthday is literally the same day as my dad, and it's my parents' wedding anniversary on that same day, which was this past week, this past weekend, and all the places like you could possibly eat out for your birthday. My son's like, I want to go to In-N-Out Burger in Flagstaff, Arizona, and I'm like, done. In-N-Out Burger in Flagstaff, Arizona. Okay, is like In-N-Out Burger used to be when I was a kid. I lived in Los Angeles from the time I was like 10 years old to about 17. And In-N-Out Burger, Jeff would actually know this. You're green, man. His green screen's up. So Jeff would know this. In-N-Out Burger in Los Angeles was really, really good. Okay, early on. I'm talking like the 1980s, the 1990s. Really, really good. In-N-Out Burger was like desirable place to want to eat. Well, for some reason in Flagstaff, Arizona, it is a desirable place to want to eat. Okay. I mean, it's really, really good up there. Better than, most like decent. I mean, look, a kid, if I took him to like a really good steak place, okay, he'd be like, In-N-Out Burger is just as good. I feel the same way. Jeff, favorite burger place in Los Angeles?
Used to be In-N-Out in Westwood, which was the
Yeah,
original, but
yeah.
I would say Fat Burger in Westwood would rival them.
Oh, Fat Burger Redondo Beach.
Yeah, the
Used to
same
go there as
one,
a kid.
same
Yeah,
owners. Yeah.
I know talking about. I know Fat Burger. Yeah, I used to.
And Don, the King Burger is like three patties with an egg on top.
Oh yeah, it's good stuff. Yeah, egg on your burger is weird in the United States, but I also lived down in Australia where like egg on your burger is like a normal thing, down there. Hold on, Jeff, I'm not done, man. I'm not done. We're going to talk about hedging and risk management maybe a little bit tomorrow. So I'm going to head up to the mountains again later today. By the way, I have a ton of trades, and I'm letting you guys know, like I'm watching them like a hawk here. Okay, I have a ton of trades like Home Depot. I mean, look, there's 3 days left to live. I know that I'm on the dance floor here. Like I got it. And I'm basically flat in the trade and down 20% or whatever. But trades are getting beaten up. Google has come back completely. In fact, Google right now is getting hammered. Google is getting hammered, and the Google trade got 10 days left, and it's right back on the dance floor. So we're in good shape on Google. We're in okay shape on Home Depot. Okay. And XLE has completely come back around. The trade where I'm getting beaten up, it's not over yet, is gold. Gold, I'm down like 80%. The thing burst to the upside. Bank of America. So what do we need right now? Maybe a little sell side activity. I don't even need sell side activity in the entire marketplace. Okay. Just a little help here in Bank of America for the remainder of this week. Bank of America only has $1 expected move, but if it moves $1, we're going to be in the money. So we'll see what plays out over here. Anything, by the way, Bank of America today, I'd pay attention to this. Financials getting smoked. It's down 0.5%. Bank of America, okay, is actually down 1.3%. That's actually a real move in a 50-50 advanced decline line. The financials are taking a little bit of heat. No volatility to speak of, though, hitting the marketplace. And Nvidia is kind of masking any of the broader weakness in a few of the other sectors because you do have the energy sector once again getting hammered. So energy sector, again, we have a position on in here that is slightly in the money. Jeff, what are you covering today?
Uh, Biases, mental. We're going to reprogram people to avoid certain biases in the market that get them to chase at the wrong time or the trigger at the wrong time.
That's a weird conversation in the world right now. Just at all. Okay. I'm not biased at all. It's, the future. I was just talking to Corey yesterday about this. Okay. Corey obviously still lives in Los Angeles, right? And the reason I started talking to Corey about the future and so forth and biases and everything, it is like his internet service provider just cut him off for like 12 hours yesterday in the middle of a week. And I'm like, what's the future of like Los Angeles really look like? Like, is there a good future to that city? And the answer is hell no. By the way, that's not a bias, but it went down that road of like, how the hell did you get there? And it really, to me, comes down to people sitting behind computers. The more you sit behind a computer, the more like of a silo you're in. I think people need to recognize that. You start actually believing your own crap. Next thing you're reading Zero Hedge. You're wearing a tinfoil hat. You're ducking under your desk half the time. Governments are shutting down. It's awesome. Okay. By the way, all of that is absolutely real. With that being said, Jeff Bierman, it is yours here for the next hour. You okay over there? All right, I'm fine. You okay over there?
There it goes. It took a while, but it came on.
Next.
You good to go? All right. So let me pick it up and run with this and say, without further ado, good morning